The United Nations is warning that a severe lack of medical equipment is hindering the emergency response in Myanmar after Friday's devastating earthquake. International relief is gathering pace, but aid agencies say the country is unprepared to deal with a disaster on this scale. At least 1,600 people have been killed and thousands more injured in the quake. Myanmar is struggling to deal with the enormity of the disaster, but international aid and support is now starting to pour into the Southeast Asian nation. Neighbouring countries have sent trucks, ships and planes filled with relief items and rescue personnel to beef up the war-torn country's emergency response. The European Union has joined the list of donor countries with a pledge to send €2.5 million in assistance. Joining us now from Brussels is Eva Hrncirova, spokesperson for the European Commission. We've just seen how desperate the situation is on the ground, Eva, with EU's now sending funding or pledging that funding. How soon can that support start reaching the people who need it most?
Good morning. We hope that the aid sent from European Union will be delivered very quickly, and it can start soon. I want to stress that what we have given is just an initial aid. We reacted basically in a couple of hours, and we are releasing 2.5 million of initial emergency assistance. But the next steps need to be evaluated according to the situation on the ground.
Yeah, with that in mind, Eva, how much harder is it to help in a country ruled by a military regime? Is there a concern about aid being blocked or diverted by the military?
It's not the first time EU is helping in such circumstances. Obviously, we always stress that if the humanitarian aid is to be affected, then the international humanitarian law needs to be respected, because the people who deliver the aid, and we always work via our partners. It means that we cooperate with United Nations, with NGOs. We do not give the aid to the government, but it means that the government or possible parts of the conflict, they need to respect the international humanitarian law to be able to get the aid to the people that are in need. And our humanitarian assistance is obviously unconditional. It's for those who need it.
How difficult is the situation? How difficult is it to implement a solution, not just in the aftermath of a major earthquake, but the ongoing civil war?
We are trying. I can speak about the humanitarian aid, and obviously we know that the situation in Myanmar is difficult for many years. That's why we were providing the humanitarian aid already since the 90s. And since that time, the total amount of our aid is nearly €500 million. This assistance was obviously for nutrition, for clean water, for shelters, sanitation, but we also always support education, and we help also build some kind of a preparedness in the country. As I said, our aid always goes via the humanitarian organizations, and we try to impose very strict controls to our projects.
And as for right now, Eva, what kind of aid is being prioritised? What must be done most urgently? And who are your partners on the ground helping deliver it at this point?
We are in touch mainly with international partners. It means with the United States. It means with the United Nations. And we try to organize at the moment what is necessary. Organization for the cooperation of the humanitarian aid of the United Nations has already contacted our crisis center. Our humanitarian directorate is now coordinating what is necessary. The first aid will be obviously something what is called wash. It means water, sanitation, and hygiene. Some air bridges are being discussed, and hopefully next week we will be able to organize them either from Europe or from other countries nearby, because we have also stockpiles around Myanmar, so we can deliver from there.
Eva Hrncirova from the European Commission, thank you so much.
Thank you.
The earthquake in Myanmar also struck neighbouring Thailand, killing at least 17 people and injuring over 30 more, according to officials. At least 10 were killed when an unfinished 30-storey high-rise collapsed in the capital, Bangkok. Rescue teams are still searching for signs of life underneath the unstable pile of rubble, but they don't know how many of those trapped might still be alive. Well, for more on the humanitarian effort taking place in the country, I talked earlier to Warangkana from Save the Children in Thailand, who told me about how her organisation is responding to the earthquake.
There are still many areas reporting cracked and unsafe buildings, and authorities are still estimating reports of damage in different parts. I think Save the Children, we are working very closely with the communities on the ground, as well as the Ministry of Education, to ensure that the comprehensive school safety is translated into practices. In communities such as the migrant workers construction sites, we work closely actually with the Migrant Working Group Network and the communities to try to identify their needs that the children may want, especially those who are missing their families. We have do a search right now on the information needed that these children of migrant workers from the construction sites may need psychological first aids, and in a long-term family tracing and reunification to their place of origins as well. I think there is a very alarming need as well to think ahead of the long term in terms of the emergency response, and also how to encourage the schools to be the safe space for children. Right now, the Ministry of Education is also wanting to have schools be open to be the shelters, but we do not want to encourage that. We want to encourage the Bangkok Metropolitan Administrative Office to try to find some other safe space for children and also families who are affected to evacuate. And if there's a need in terms of psychological first aid or education in emergency, we are there to help.
We've seen a lot of evidence of the damage caused by the quake in Bangkok, but other places have also suffered. What are you hearing from those communities outside of Bangkok?
Yeah, there are very little information, for example, in very remote area, for example, in the refugee and migrant communities along the Thai-Myanmar borders. Save the Children are actually the lead in education as a service providers. We are assessing the needs. There's no report of a large damage, but still, I think with the crisis in Myanmar as well, a lot of people are crossing to Thailand and seek refuge. So we may need to assess again the needs for education in emergency, but also safe space for children to learn and thrive during this crisis. There are more than 28,000 refugee and migrant children living along the borders at the moment, whom we are helping and supporting their education. Yes.
Warangkana from Save the Children Thailand, thank you so much.